Whew, guys, welcome to another episode of Funky Marketing Show. Today, I have this special guest, somebody that we were just talking, and she told me that it feels like we know each other because we've been interacting a lot I think in the past year or something like that. But I won't waste much of your time today. With me is Nadja Komnenic from Lemlist, and we're going to talk about all kind of different stuff from LinkedIn, inbound, outbound, to who knows what comes out of our mind. Nadja, welcome to the show.
Thank you, Nemanja. It's so lovely to see you. And as you said before, we kind of know each other for a year now, although I've been kind of stalking you silently on LinkedIn and you've been following my content as well. And I think this is also what we're going to talk about today, like how when you actually use LinkedIn properly, you really get to know people, even though you're not really you were building this relationship outside of the DMs, etc. So really lovely to finally meet you in person.
Yeah, online, but still.
Yes. Exactly.
So let's start from there. As you know, I first saw your post somewhere in the feed for the first time, and it was a well-performing post, and I was like, "Who the hell is now Nadja?" Where did she come from? And then as I've been following, the engagement started to grow, and the way you are talking about things started to be more mature, and you share more results and processes and all kind of different stuff. So tell me a little bit about what happened in between.
So basically, I've started working for Lemlist, my current company, 2 years ago, and one of the key things that I when I got the offer letter in the first place was what was mentioned is that we're going to work hard on my personal branding, which I come from Serbia, same as you, so it's not something that you really have as a thing in Serbia overall. And I was a bit skeptical, a bit scared, obviously. And when we started working on my LinkedIn, I kind of just started posting. And obviously, like the first posts were not as good. I was just like trying to figure it out. And over the years, right now, like I think my LinkedIn has grown so much. I went from like 400 connections to 14K connections today. Very active on LinkedIn, obviously, all the time, being invited to podcasts like yours as well. So right now, personal branding and this entire brand strategy is one of my favorite things that I'm doing currently in my job. So yeah, it's been like quite a journey, honestly, in the past 2 years.
Yeah, that's because the first time I heard about Lemlist was kind of polarizing because there were LAM pods and those engagement pods, different kind of stuff. But then there were so many, good guys, young guys working in the company from Serbia, like
Yep.
Ugi Đurić, like Vukashin, like other people. And it was like, no idea what's happening there. There's a French guy running the show, kind of starting it. But then when you get into the conversations with them, you can see that they're really doing the job, so they know what they're talking about.
I hope so.
Yeah, so tell me a little bit about your journey, because right now you are head of business development, right? Basically running the sales, more or less. And I'm kind of interested, how much did that presence on LinkedIn help you maybe get, people for your team, or, talking directly with clients, or, just building a brand for the company, those kind of stuff. Because my guess is that it helps a lot. And as you're a company that is growing, then you need to go in faster, and it helps a lot.
Mm, definitely, and that's a very good question. I remember when I started at Lemlist, for me, like the biggest issue that I had in the beginning as a salesperson from Serbia, is that you kind of like have to gain a bit of more credibility, even when you're not coming from US, if you're targeting US. And in the beginning, obviously, I started working on my LinkedIn. I didn't see immediate results, so for like a couple of months, I was just thinking, am I really wasting my time? I'm just so spending so much time writing posts. Nothing is really happening. And there was like this moment of time where kind of a thing started gaining traction, and I started getting a lot more people coming to me actually. And in the first months of Lemlist, I was doing full cycle sales, so from prospecting to doing demos to booking meetings, basically all entire sales cycle was on me. And it was so much harder afterwards as my LinkedIn grew. What happened is that first of all, I got connected to so many thought leaders that helped me out in my sales position. So I was able to learn from them, like how to set up the processes, how to work on my reporting, and all of the things like head of sales responsibilities. Eventually, obviously, demos kind of started flowing in. So not only was I doing outbound and like booking meetings, but the thing is, I realized I'm actually booking more meetings just by people coming to me and creating this inbound engine for myself. So that was the moment where I realized, okay, this is actually awesome. I'm not spending so much time booking meetings, trying to pitch somebody. They're coming to me, and you build this really like very nice relationship. And those clients that I've closed actually over LinkedIn, because they've came to me through inbound, actually are the ones who had like the biggest lifetime value, and the churn there is so small. So like rarely do they ever leave. You always build this relationship. They're always like talking to you. And a lot of people that I've hired actually for my team came through LinkedIn, because they saw some of the posts. They understood the culture that we have in Lemlist, what we're doing. It was they were inspired obviously, but what we were doing, and like they kind of felt what kind of manager I am, and you were able to really get that personal connection even before just sending them an offer, or like, okay, this is who we are, this is why you should work for us. They know why they should work for you, even before you send a message to them. So it was so much useful. And right now, like my entire sales team has LinkedIn as one of their KPIs. It's one of the most important things for us, simply because we saw it's working. You can really not even like you can triple the results that you're gaining just by being active on LinkedIn. And it even if you're not so in the moment of doing outbound, you're still able to book meetings simply because you're having so many conversations on LinkedIn daily.
Yeah, true. A question there. What are the KPIs related to the LinkedIn? That's a topic
Yes.
we often get into with different people. So some of them are measuring, number of scheduled meetings. Some of them are measuring, the amount of people coming to the website from LinkedIn, and then what they are doing on the website, the engagement. Others are measuring, just the outcome, the final outcome. So what are you actually measuring?
So for us, it's we're not really honestly like we're not so focused on specific numbers, simply because, for example, if you were tracking like the number of posts that you're doing weekly, or like the engagement that you're getting, those are kind of vanity metrics. And for us, it doesn't tell us a lot, honestly. It's just more to be there to kind of push you to be consistent in what you're doing. And in reality, is like you cannot really measure LinkedIn. I think it's the one problem that companies have is that when management is forcing lower managers to create reports on, okay, prove me that LinkedIn is working, it's really hard to measure it. And it's just something where you need to have trust and faith that it's going to work, and then you will see the increase. Right now I cannot tell you the number of the revenue that I brought in the last year, simply because there is no way for me to measure it, but it's there, and we know it's there, and it's impossible for us to track it. What we do track, however, is that whenever we have a post that is performing really, really well, we obviously track the number of free trial signups that increased in those days, and that's what we track, and we kind of use it as more as a proof than something that is really helping us out. Obviously, we track how many demos were booked through LinkedIn and how many through the typical outbound, and this is something that we kind of take a look at always.
Yeah, and I mean, some of them come directly to the website.
Exactly,
Those that
exactly,
direct traffic is somehow
exactly,
brand, recognition, people knowing you, and just I
for
always like to
sure,
say that people are not stupid. When they learn enough, they know what they need.
for
They will
sure,
come and ask for it.
for sure, for sure. I know so many times it has happened that like one of our biggest clients would I would contact them after a couple of months just to see how they're like, if they're liking Lemlist, etc. And only then I would learn that they actually came to Lemlist because they saw my post, they went to website, they've tried out the free trial, and they were just became clients without even me knowing that. And it's something that happens a lot. And I think it's just the reality that you need to face, that you will not be able to track it 100%, and you will not be able to have numbers, but it's there, it's happening, and you just kind of need to be patient and see how it's happening, because it's been working for me, it's been working for you, it's been working for so many companies. So if you do it well, it's surely it's gonna come.
Yeah, I mean, basically, each person is just a part of the puzzle, and that's how we
Exactly,
should look at it.
exactly,
I mean,
exactly.
maybe for you guys, it's harder because you get much more customers than I do
Yeah.
get clients. So to kind of figure out, but I'm always having a questions. How did you find out about
Mm.
us, or why do you want to work with us? And when you get answered, Nemanya's LinkedIn, or we got funked, or all different kind of stuff, and I'm like, okay, so there's a pattern over there.
Mm.
And and we even got, I'm sure you get that too, and some other companies as well, like there were a couple of people who send messages to each person that was starting to work with Funky Marketing, to wish them welcome to the team. Like I was getting screenshots from Linda. It was Linda Silva, and before her it was Martin, and people sending them messages like, "Hey, Funky Marketing is a great team. I just want to congratulate you," or something like that. And it
Exactly.
means, okay, we are actually doing something here.
Exactly, exactly. I think that one of the really key things when you're building out your brand on LinkedIn as a company is that you really don't have to pitch your job offers. Like, people, first of all, come to you. Second of all, they already know the culture before they even join, and hopefully, what you're talking on LinkedIn represents the reality of the
Yeah.
company culture that you currently have. And it's so much easier. So, like, the everything else. You're not the one, again, same as in sales, you're not the one pitching your company, they're the ones pitching to you. Then it's not the opposite way
Yes.
around.
Yeah, exactly. It's the best way to do it.
Mm,
But let's
mm,
talk a little bit about the other way. So doing the outreach, because like
yeah.
outreach is also getting easier if you are working towards the brand, you're being present on social media, and so when you reach out to somebody, they already know at least maybe a person or a company or something like that. I recently heard that having a virtual coffee with a guy, he told me like, what I'm looking at when I get the cold email. I don't look the subject. I don't look nothing except the URL. Is that the company that I know? So he was like, if
Mm.
I get the email from Funky Marketing, I know it. If I get the email from Drift, I know them. So that's also a nice perspective. But tell me, because you've been through the full cycle, and now you're actually leading the team and teaching people how to do it. So tell me a little bit, how we can we do it on the multiple channels.
Yes, so just to add on top of what you've said about having this
Mm-hmm.
credibility, I think the moment when, as I said, like in the beginning, I had zero personal branding on LinkedIn, and when actually reaching out to US, I had to work so hard to persuade them that what I'm telling, that I'm the one who is credible enough to tell them about this stuff.
Yeah.
And they hear, like, they see, like a young woman from like Serbia who is talking about sales, like, what would I believe you? And like, you need to gain so much social proof and prove them that you're actually worth it to get a response, that you just invest so much time. And currently, I literally send an email and I put my LinkedIn in my signature. They visit my LinkedIn profile, and they're the ones, like, they even want to talk to you just to meet you. It's not even about your company and your product. They kind of see, okay, I can actually learn so much from this person. Let's go and check out what they have to say. So that part kind of becomes so much easier. And even if your outreach is not that perfect or that good, you get so much more traction when you're actually being present on social media. Currently, the way that when it comes to the multi-channel and the question that you've asked, obviously in the last year, I think when the automation of LinkedIn kind of started becoming a more common phenomena, what happened is that a lot of people started using it in a very, very poor way. And I'm sure you've gotten horrible LinkedIn connection requests, horrible messages on LinkedIn with people simply pitching you straight in the connection requests. And it kind of ruined the automation of LinkedIn for all of us who wanted to do it perfectly. So some things that worked even a year ago or a couple of months ago right now are not working. I think that if you're doing really multi-channel, you really need to be so much involved day to day in figuring out how to pass over those spam raters, so that even if you're personalizing your message, you can't personalize it the same way that everybody else is personalizing. So for example, if I would reach out to you previously, like maybe a couple of months ago, I would just use, okay, I saw like your recent post, I really loved what you said here, etc. Today, you even need to change that a bit so that it doesn't appear automated or like typical sales outreach.
Yeah,
I
lots
think
of
that
people are using that.
yes, it's really, in my opinion, the only way to do properly multi-channel outreach is to take a look at how would you approach this person if you had zero tools in your tech stack. So how would you start a conversation with them when you're here? Like, you would probably visit their LinkedIn profile, you would probably check out a couple of posts, maybe engage with them, like them. Then you would send a message according to something that you saw previously, and then you would just start casual conversation. Where people make a lot of mistakes is they are too impatient, and even though they start a relationship good, they just kind of rush into talking about a product or pitching the product. Multi-channel outreach is first of all about really figuring out if there is even, it's kind of a discovery call during the chat that you're having. And then only if there is actually any way that you can actually talk about your product, when there is a time and there is an ask from the person, that's when you start doing it.
Yeah, it reminds me a lot. I was Amir is always interesting in the comments.
So awesome.
Yeah, like I tried lots of different stuff. I'm on LinkedIn and connecting with people and sending welcome messages and whatnot since I think 2013, 14. Because like back in the days there was a tool. I was working for a Canadian-based marketing agency. There was a tool that we were using. It was a heavy tool. You needed to run it during the nights because you cannot do
Okay.
anything on your device when it's running. And basically, you just type in the search. All the data that you need, so demographics, the position, whatnot, and then basically what it does, it goes from one profile to another, stays for 20 seconds, which is enough for
Okay.
them to realize that somebody has viewed their profile, and then it goes on and on and on. And so tomorrow when you wake up, you see who's coming to see your profile, and if they're coming to see your profile, they're interested, so you send them a message. But it wasn't enough. It was, I needed to go on Twitter and maybe, see there was a guy who liked fishing, so that's what we got into the conversation about, and close the deal, not about something related, business related. But then, it was too formal from the start. The welcome messages that I've been sending, like, "Hey, my name is Manya. I truly want to meet people," but sometimes it's too much.
Yeah.
Then it was shorter. Then I realized, okay, I can mention some things because when I started Funky Marketing, I named the company Funky Marketing. So when you mention GTA, funk music, basketball, lots of people react to that. And then basically what I'm doing right now, is since I'm having lots of comment, engaging with lots of people, I'm giving them 2 weeks or 3 weeks to just consume the content. And then basically I just send them the message, hey, just wanted to drop a line and say hi. That's it. Nothing else. And everybody's responding to that. Some people thinks it's a bot, but it's me sending those messages. I always want to be me who's sending the message. So I'm like, hey man, I'm right here. I'm not sending the message. They were like, oh wow, we didn't expect that. And it's easy to get into the conversations when you just wanted to say hi, and I'm getting all kind of response from people. Like there was a lady who said, hey, can we schedule a call? We need a new vendor. And I'm like, that was too fast. I need to go and see how things were developing. But, I think we need to try different approaches, right? And see what's working, what's not. And even if something is working, maybe we need to prepare other stuff that we can maybe change and innovate and.
Exactly. And I think the one of the things that you've said, like first connecting with them and letting them consume the content, is the key. If you're obviously, and that's why you should be active on LinkedIn, simply because whatever you send them as a message afterwards is just gonna work, because people are still gonna want to talk to you if they obviously liked your posts in the past. I actually do, like, Lemlist, as I'm not sure if you know, but we currently automate multi-channels, so we are able to combine emails, LinkedIn, and all of these channels. And I do use it, but it's a moment of how you use it. I think automation is not bad. It's just that, and it actually helps a lot, simply because for me, obviously, I'm running sales team, I'm doing full cycle sales, I'm doing branding and podcasts and webinars. For me, it's impossible to really talk to people every single day on LinkedIn, and I still want to have these conversations. So I do automate it, but I do it in like a very subtle and nice way. And as I said, like, I first connect, then put it like let them consume the content, and then you start the conversation by actually adding them some value and sending them some content that that this audience is facing. So what I'm currently doing, for example, maybe this could be useful for somebody. Our ICP, our new head of sales. So anybody who just joined the company, we know the issue typically that I've been in that position. I know the issue that they obviously always have is like, you need to set up the foundations of the sales process, but you still need to onboard your sales reps. Here's a checklist, sales onboarding checklist that helped me out. It was a lifesaver back in the day. I was just checking out your content, realized you've changed the position. Here you go, like, maybe it can help out, and looking forward to seeing more of your content. And that's an automated message, and it's personalized because I know that it's they're in this position, and it's kind of personalization at scale, but it works. So as you said, like, I first have like connection request that is automated. Then second of all, LinkedIn views that are kind of coming in the upcoming days. Then this email that kind of goes after that. The subject line is typically always like, taking our LinkedIn here, or something like that. And then it's really like smooth, and it feels like I'm talking to that person. And whenever they respond, obviously, then I just kind of go in and then I have a chat with people.
Yeah, that's great. I mean, you're basically giving them a resource, right?
Yes.
Right
Yes.
from the start. There's also like one thing that we are doing. I think we mentioned it in the last episode as well. So if you're running a poll, because lots of people are running polls these days, you just have a topic. You have 3 resources or 3 articles on different aspects of that topic. You see people who vote on different answers. Basically, people that voted one answer, you send them the article or the resource. People who voted different, you send them different article.
Exactly.
You just want them to read the article, nothing else. And nobody ever said, how dare you to do that? People love to do those stuff because maybe they won't read it now. They maybe read it a week in 2, but it's there, and that this is a great resource. If they read it, they will find it useful, and they will get back to it.
I think one of the things that we can kind of talk about, because I know this is a lot of people struggle with this, is like, okay, I've built a relationship, we've talked about a lot of stuff, and I've sent them a lot of content. How do I convert these people? Like, how do I then start talking about a product? And this is the moment where the reason that you should talk about, like, whenever you're sharing content, it should be a content that can lead to you, to kind of give you the room for you to be able to ask questions that are about the pain that you're solving. So for example, if I'm sending them sales onboarding checklist, my following question would be, hope this was helpful, but like curious, like have you found a way to ensure that I don't know, like your emails are not going to land in spam. I have some more content that can help you out on this topic, etc. And then following that, like you kind of do the discovery questions, not call, but discovery questions during the chat. And then when they share the pains that they're facing, then you offer a solution and you tell them like that this is something where you can help them out and ask if they would be interested in seeing that.
Yeah, I think that those things are extremely important. And what you said, because so many companies do extremes. They go with sell, or buy, or they go
Too soft.
educate until they die.
Yeah.
You know, and sometimes you need to say, okay, I share with you the resource. I share with you the case study, testimonials. I'll show you how it can be done. I'll show you how companies like yours have been doing it. I gave you a chance to ask me anything. Now it's time for you to convert. If they are not ready, then you just throw them back to the newsletter or something else until they're ready. You know, I used to do that with just, when we started Funky Marketing, it was one landing page and 5 follow-up emails, just going through those stages and nothing else. But let's talking about the newsletter. What are your thoughts on the LinkedIn newsletter?
Honestly, they became so active. Like I'm getting tens of invites to join the newsletter. I would follow it only if it's a company that for example, I would follow yours. I would follow people that I follow. Typically, I know that they're posting good content on LinkedIn. So in that case, I would be, yes, okay, let's check out additional content. But if it's somebody random that I don't know and they just send me like an invite to the newsletter, I would never honestly follow it because my LinkedIn would be swamped in that case.
Yeah, I think it's too many of them, and when it is too many, I'm going out of the room. That's always a thing when it comes to
Exactly.
branding, when it comes to visuals, when it comes to different stuff. I mean, that's why we changed the branding of the Funky to the old TV, because so many people were doing that headline, format, those kind of stuff. So, another one. When is the best time to switch to LinkedIn Premium? I would say yesterday.
Yes.
Because basically, if no other reasons, basically because you can see everybody who have visited your profile. I mean, if you're just starting and you don't have many people over there, you can catch them all organically. But if you have so many people visiting your profile, then it's not possible to get all of them. And then emails and other stuff. I mean, for me, it helped see the shitty content CEOs and founders are posting. For example, that was the revelation, because I was like, let's see. I mean, not talking about marketing and sales. I'm talking about industrial, talking about other industries, because, they are posting dolphins, they are posting some trucks, memes, something that has nothing to do with what they do. And and then when I show that to the CEO of the company, and I'm telling him, you need to invest in content, you need to engage with people, and he tells me, how can I engage with that, with dolphins? Like, and it's kind of interesting. But on the other hand, it means that there's so much room for improvement.
That's true. And one on top of what you've said, when it comes to LinkedIn Premium, right now LinkedIn is obviously like limiting a lot. LinkedIn limitations are very low, I would say. So like you have 20-25 messages that you can send per day without getting blocked. And with LinkedIn Premium, they do take a look at that as well. So lower chances of you getting banned if you're like on LinkedIn Premium as well.
Yeah, that's valuable insight.
Let's not even go. I'm just reading the comments. They're so funny.
Yeah,
Admir, we love your comments.
yeah, Shield is great for those kind of stuff, especially for the things
Yes.
that we were talking about. You can follow the team, you can follow the page, and it's a tool that can show you which content perform well, and in the long run, how are you all growing?
Yeah.
Okay. Let's one thing I wanted to ask you, so you can kind of share it. I see you're doing it and it's kind of interesting because I really like the style and the way you present it and everything. It's Lem-heroes.
Oh, yes.
Right, because it's kind of interesting, your company that is heavy on outsourcing and everything, but then you change all of that and start, we're gonna not gonna do it for us. We're gonna focus on the clients and get more people by doing that.
Yes. When we started Lemlist, so basically, I'm not sure if we mentioned, so Lemlist as a company actually helps. It's a basically SaaS platform that helps you automate your outbound outreach. Meaning that for us, we obviously use Lemlist ourselves to do outbound. And we were doing it for like 3 years. We managed to grow from 0 to 10 million in ARR bootstrapped, so without any funding. But the moment when we, like last year, my team actually came to Serbia from France, and we were like having chats. How can we, as a small team that is competing against like big competitors, like very saturated market, how can we right now kind of make a difference and actually be able to create so many inbound leads from the sales team that it really like makes a difference to the company and our growth. And we were kind of stopped thinking, and we were like, okay, so the one of the reasons that Lemlist grew so fast over the last 3 years was because we were providing so much actionable content to the audience, and we were really educating them on how to do outbound. And as they were growing, we were growing as well. So we were okay. Our focus then shifted, and we were like, okay, what is the best way for us to educate people how to do outbound? And we've been doing it. We've been posting our own sequences, our own outreach, our own tips, but we realized we were doing it only from our perspective of talking about one industry, which is sales, marketing teams, recruiters. And we realized that's not really helpful to companies who are in a completely different industries, completely different spheres, different levels in the company. And for us, we kind of had this idea: let's try to kind of pick a couple of clients that we currently have at Lemlist, and instead of doing outbound for ourselves, let's create sequences for them and do full go-to-market lead generation, sequence creation, and launch it and document everything on our YouTube channel. The idea was to show literally SDRs or salespeople how to do it step by step and why every step matters, and how to do it for different industries, different verticals. And it is still so hard to do it for the other companies that are not your you don't know that ICP, you don't know that industry. But it was such an educational experience for us as well, and for the audience, because you were really able to see it firsthand, every single thing. So right now, basically, the goal of this Lem-hero project that we have is to first help current clients that are struggling with outreach and help them create the sequence properly. Second of all, educate worldwide people how to do it properly, show the sequence itself, really step-by-step guide on how to do it. And eventually, obviously, it will lead for us having more inbound leads and sales, simply because people are going to see, okay, this is working, this is how they're doing it. Let me try out the tool that they're using to do it for ourselves, and let's see how it goes. And we've been having an amazing result so far. So it's hard, but it's super useful, and we really see a lot of people are engaging to it and reacting to it very well. So we're so far so good.
Yeah, I think that's what you said, and what you are doing is actually, doing things by the book. And
Yeah.
so many people aren't ever doing those stuff. I was doing it for the funky marketing. Ognjen Bošković
Mm,
was also doing it for the content marketing. Now he's doing it for the CXL. It's basically, go ahead, do it, get results, show results, move on,
mm.
basically. And of course, it's hard because, in your case, it's you don't have your brand, you don't
Mm-hmm.
have your engagement, you don't have all the things that you've been building up for years. Maybe the company has it, but you don't know. So you are entering the new space, and you need to figure out lots of different stuff. And I think it's good for the morale of the team as well, because new
Mm-hmm.
challenges.
But that's the idea. So, for example, from my perspective, I felt like I was talking here about like, okay, this is how I write my cold email campaign. This is why it works. But again, I know always that I have my LinkedIn to back me up. So I don't know if my results are actually coming because of the email copy is so awesome or because I'm so awesome on LinkedIn. I literally wanted to do it for companies that are maybe in beta stage. They don't have the product formed yet. They still didn't fully go to market. And how do you do outbound when you're in that stage? And you still can do it, but there are differences. So, and I think that everybody talks like every single content that you find online, it seems very easy and very like, yeah, like you can do it like this or you can do it like this, when reality is cold outbound is hard, but you can figure it out. And the point is how to figure it out, and that's what we're trying to help the audience learn.
Yeah, love that.
Does it what,
Yeah.
Lukides? That's my question for you.
Lemlist.
Yes.
Yeah, there are
Quick
tons of
question.
tons of useful resources, templates, whatnot on the website. I can say we've been using them for a couple of clients. So
Good to know.
yeah, exactly. I mean, why not using them instead of going and figure out something from the scratch when there is already a resource over there present.
Yes,
So
exactly.
so yeah,
Exactly.
that's a good thing. But one thing I forgot to mention about automatization, because like people, as you said, people are now thinking about automatization as something bad. It has a bad narrative to it, and I've been specializing in marketing automation for, I don't know, 2.5 years. But what's interesting over there is that automation should actually represent the buyer's journey of the customers.
Yes.
So you are actually automating the ways they are coming to buy your product, not coming up with something new and enforcing them to go your way. So I think that's important to say, and also to personalization. It means knowing your customers, not using their name, surname, demographics into the headline or something else. So
Yes, yes. So yes to that. And the thing is, like automation, I would not be able to do my job with automation. I would, but it would take so much time. It's not scalable at all. And when you're automating, you're also able to see the reports. So you know if emails are performing better for you or it's LinkedIn, what actually makes sense for you. And if you're in sales, you don't have a lot of time. Like every second of your day matters. So instead of spending like, I don't know, 30 minutes, sending connection requests or like visiting somebody's profile just to visit the profile, you can automate that. And there are so many things that you can automate, but it's really important to find a tool that is enabling you to personalize, because if you're just automating without any personal touch, it's not going to work.
yeah, I totally agree, and it goes down to the last topic that I prepared for today, and it is being a decent and kind human being will get you further in sales than any podcast or webinar you've listened to.
You saw my LinkedIn post.
Of course, of course,
Of course.
that's the good one, and I always like to take people now it's kind of popular to hate on Gary Vee, because he talks about lots of stuff, because and his background is different, so people kind of find it, but his one thing that he's talking for, I think, like 20 years or more, is like, be kind. And it's
Yeah.
so simple and it's yet so powerful.
It's so simple, and it's simple, but it's not easy. I would say that, because if you're in sales, you have pressure of targets, you have pressure from your management. You are like you cannot have patience because you have this deadline on Friday. You don't have like your quota. It ends end of the month. It's not. You cannot like spend time and hours and months of building a relationship. But the thing is, you have to. So I think even like whether you're doing demos or sending emails or even you're marketing or support, like it doesn't really matter what department of the company, being a freaking nice human being will beat everything. I think that the people can spot fake, they can spot when you're just out there building a relationship and asking them how they are because they want to pitch them. If you have this mindset that okay, I'm just gonna be nice to them because I want to close them as a client, people are not dumb, they're gonna realize it. And the point is that you need to be a nice human being have a mindset of I want to help this person, not close this person and sell to this person. And when you have this thought in your mind, even your outreach message will change if you're really having this mindset in the first place.
Yeah, I agree, and it brings a couple of things to my mind. First of all, is I don't know if I can explain it in English. Let me try. So when I started Funky Marketing, and I had 6,000 connections, and I wanted to send a message to each one of them. Because the last time I sent them a message, I was starting to work with default design. So I wanted to again present myself and wish them welcome. And so I sent them in English. That would be I would be delighted to know more about you. In Serbian, obradovalo bi me. And I was getting response from people. Whoa, I think nobody ever has told me that he would be delighted to know more about me. And I was really honest and genuine, because that's just what I wanted to do. Because I was building long term, and I just wanted to know people that I'm connected with. It's still active to this day. And on the other hand, it also goes to the some challenges that both you and I have in leading the teams. you know Being kind, no matter how you're pissed off of somebody doing something wrong or something else. Because if you raise your voice, if you go in a different approach, they will do something just because they are scared of you or of the outcome or those kind of stuff. So you need to think about those stuff as well. Like, I remember people telling me, like, man, you are so patient. Like, somebody did lots of things wrong and you are so patient. I mean, I'm telling them everything they need to do, but I don't raise my voice or or go in that way, because they will have different reasons to do it if I go in that way. So that's also something to think about.
No, definitely. In general, I think in the world today we need more kindness because, especially right now, like if we take a look at the horrible 2 years that we've all been having, like people are burnt out across the board with COVID happening and everything, everybody like being remotely, etc. And your employees are stressed out because they have private life outside of the work as well. People that you're reaching out, your prospects, have their own issues on the side. You have no idea what's up with in their personal life.
Yeah.
And even if you do a cold call and somebody kind of shuts you off and they're being super rude, don't let that affect you. Who knows what's happening in their world as well, and just be nice and kind. I don't know anybody that had the problem of being kind, but I do know people that had problems of being assholes.
Yeah. Here is Amir saying Nemanja only gets angry at old espresso. That's the first time I hear this. That's great.
Oh, that's cool.
Nice. Okay, so one thing that comes to my mind: what was the craziest conversations that you have been into? Doing the outreach.
Well, I'm a woman, so you can imagine what kind of conversations I nearly had on LinkedIn. I think this is the issue that a lot of women in sales actually face.
Yeah.
And I would not go into the details, obviously, but those were the ones where I really got disappointed, honestly, because you work so hard on that and like you try to really build a relationship, you try to help them out, and then you realize that after so many messages that it's kind of going in a different direction. So those were the really, like, for me, the most uncomfortable ones. And that's honestly that's that. I didn't have, like, obviously I had demos where people were working from home and accidentally turned on their videos when they weren't supposed to turn on their videos. But either way, I think the conversations that I'm having with our clients are genuinely really, really nice.
Yeah, that's good to hear. I mean, the second part, not the first one.
Yes.
That still bothers me, and I'm still seeing women on, especially on Twitter, talking about this stuff and even sharing screenshot and those kind of stuff. And it's really, I just don't know what to say, especially now in this day and age that somebody is
Yes.
trying to behave like this. I mean, it doesn't make sense, but You know, who knows? But yeah, uh, what's one thing that we didn't talk about that you would like to say for the end, or a message, or whatever?
I think that one thing that the only reason that I feel that people are out there are, I think that today people know that they should be building their LinkedIn brands and personal brands. They know it, but they don't do it. And I think it's the moment of people being scared of being judged by their peers, their colleagues, their friends. I was scared when I was starting. Like I was thinking, oh my god, my entire college, my college friends are gonna see this, what they're gonna think, what are my friends gonna think. And one advice that I have is just think, if they're gonna judge and if they're gonna think that what you're doing is stupid or wrong, do you really want to have them as friends, and should you really care what the hell they think? So that's the first thing. And second of all, no matter, like, just do it and then prove them wrong after a couple of months when you start getting results, and see what they will tell you then. So I think it's more about really having this not give a fuck mindset when you actually want to start working on your brands, and just do it. Because if you're over planning it and like creating this super huge strategy, you are not going to be able to figure it out in one go. So try, post and see what performs well, and then after that you will be able to replicate the results and just continue and build your strategy.
Yeah, that's a great point, because it's being active or not is basically pure psychology. At least that's what I'm seeing, and I want to get your head around that. So, from Lemlist perspective, from company's perspective, how do you approach that? Because I get not all the people are active. Maybe some of them come to that later. Some of them maybe not ever start to be active. I guess it's also the culture thing. How do you hire people, and who are the people that are coming to the company? So tell me a little bit about that.
Yes, I think it all comes down to leading by the example. So if I'm telling my team, you should be active on LinkedIn and posting on LinkedIn, and I'm not the one doing it, why would they do it? They will just not do it. But if you're the one being so active, aside from everything else that you're doing, and you can show them firsthand how many demos I am currently booking without even doing sales currently and sales outreach, they're like, okay, I just want to do it. It makes sense. And there's so many benefits, like I get job offers daily on LinkedIn. I meet amazing people. I've just came to Paris, to my Paris office, and I met 5 people just through LinkedIn that I had chats with, and they're amazing people. So you build your network, you build your prospect client base, you get offers. It's such a huge value to you that it's really, when you kind of show it to them firsthand and you were the one doing it, it's not that hard to persuade. And obviously you need to support them. So for us, whenever somebody starts, obviously, like, we give a LinkedIn guides, we have a LinkedIn masterclass, we educate them how to do them, and it's not like you're just left on your own to figure it out.
Yeah, so true. I mean, and it's is the leader of the company or the team that, from my perspective, gets the most important role, because we've been doing that a lot for the company's creative, sort of like a hub inside the company. But the first step is the thing that it's called now popular psychology. Basically analyzing us, our place in the company, what we want to do with life, what we want to do inside the company, on LinkedIn, and I found out that lots of people have never asked themselves those questions, no matter how experienced they are, because they are hard questions and they run away from them. But when you know those answers, everything else falls in place. Then you basically just need to come up with a roadmap and see, what can I teach, who can I influence, those
Yes.
kind of stuff, and just go.
Yeah, exactly. And the thing is, like, people really don't think they have nothing to share. Like, who am I? Like,
Oh
what am I
yeah,
supposed to teach people? Like, I'm nobody. Like, I have nothing to share. In reality, is every single person has some experience they can share. And if you don't have, if you really believe that nobody can relate to what you're going through, and you cannot teach anybody, and that they're not going through the same experiences, you're really not that unique. I sorry to break it to you, but the thing is, for example, let's say I have a new hire in the sales team, and they're like, I'm not really sure if I can teach people about outbound. I'm not sure how it works, if I'm the one who should be teaching it. And I tell them, okay, talk about that. Talk about your experiences as you're figuring it out. Because so many other SDRs are going through the same things, and they're trying to figure out the same things you're trying to figure out. Just share your day-to-day experiences, and that's it. So I think it's just finding your own kind of angle and your voice in what you want to share and what you want to educate on.
Yeah, I always like to break that down super basic. If you applied and you got the job, you have more experience than people who applied but didn't get the job. If you
Mm-hmm.
applied, you have more experience than people who didn't ever applied.
Exactly.
So
Exactly.
it's that just that one step that you maybe took, somebody else didn't. That's enough.
Mm. Exactly. And cool thing that I kind of had as a hack before is when I started that working at Lemlist, I wasn't really sure what to talk about on LinkedIn. And a very nice hack to do is like to go ahead and check out the thought leaders in the industry that you're targeting and see what they're posting about. Because what they're posting about, the topics that they're posting about, those are the trending topics, and you just kind of need to use your own voice and your own angle and your own opinions on the topic and just post about that. So I think
Agree.
I've covered my part of the LinkedIn game, I would say.
Yeah, I agree. You nailed it. Nice. Okay, where can people go and reach out to you? I guess it's LinkedIn. What
Yeah.
else?
LinkedIn, definitely YouTube channel. I would say that if you're in
Yeah.
sales, writing sequences, doing multi-channel outbound, number one thing that I would check out is definitely the our YouTube channel. It's called Nadja and Simon. So obviously you can go on my LinkedIn profile. You will see the link there as well. Connect with me on LinkedIn and actually ask any questions. I'm more than happy to talk about outbound, multi-channel, LinkedIn game, anything branding or sales related.
Yeah. Before we get to the end, there's one more question maybe we can answer. Nana asks, how do you manage your time?
My time in terms of doing both LinkedIn.
Probably, yeah. Probably, yeah.
That's a question that I ask myself every single day. Just kidding. So I automate everything that I can automate so that I'm not spending time on the things that are just time wasters. So for multi-channel, I automate my campaigns through Lemlist. For LinkedIn, I have like 1 hour block in the morning where I just talk with people on LinkedIn, engage with your content, etc. I think it's very important to have your structure in a day. Like, what do you do? Otherwise, if your LinkedIn is popping up and your emails are popping up, you're just not going to do anything in that day. So it's just about being very super organized about, yes, time management is a skill, Amir. I completely agree. I think that's the organization and structure on your calendar is the number one important thing.
Yeah, here it is, Amir, like sneaking in, read my post. Okay. Nice, nice one. Okay,
Awesome.
guys. Now is the time to get back to the beginning of this episode and listen everything from the start because we said lots of stuff, and you need to to go and give it a second listen. Then go ahead and follow Naja on LinkedIn, follow them on YouTube. All the videos and all the things that they are trying out, as we mentioned, Lem-hero or other stuff, is over there. They are basically creating a video and explaining step by step what they are doing, how they are thinking, all kind of stuff. Very useful. So go ahead, check it out, and basically there is one thing for the end. It is keep it funky. Bye, Naja. Bye, guys.
Bye bye, Nemanja. Thank you so much for having me. It was an awesome chat.